Hello, it's Lubjub, and welcome to Chapter 5, Larry and the Scrollitorium Blues. It's been a while since I saw your verdip pennies bouncing into my eyesight. Wardy flirted with his wise words. A smile which quickly turned into a grin as a pen the size of a short sword flies past his face, burying itself into the ceiling, blasting dust around, and for a moment the room shook.
If bosses could kill, you should be the one that takes me out, Wardy, you cheeky bugger. It's been a while since you sorted my cobwebs out. How the gods are you?
Her deep, authoritative voice could rally an army on the battlefield. Hattie was half Skak on her father's side. She had the shimmering green that tree leaves have as spring comes in, covering all her skin. She had the look meant for one of the sea life, and the tail to boot. But being half Feladan, she also had fur in places one would expect, feet, hands, and head, though it seemed like she inherited most of her father's looks in the face. I'm doing fine, Hattie, though I think we can't say that of Etnarvin. His voice turned serious, and he moved closer to her. What's been happening here? This place seems to have gone to drit.
I wish I could say, it's been like this for days, weeks, even. I'm not sure anymore. One night I was here, and I heard a scream. The next minute, my manor lit up white, a pure bloody white. It gave me the creeps, Wardy. Ever since then, the town's been quieter and quieter. The streets are empty, and business is taking a hit.
Her words were filled with anxiety, her face riddled with worry.
Not just me either.
Spontaneously, reinvigorated, continuing.
All the stores are taking a hit. I've lost around and the townspeople all say the same thing. Nobody has seen Larry. Last I heard, he was heading to Von Manor, then he just disappeared without a trace.
Hattie slumped back into her overly sized soft chair, deflated. Well, this is starting to get interesting. Not in the good way that brings me fun and happiness. Any leads for me to go off? Or is there anything I need to know before we start causing a scene around town? Wardy began to prep his toolkit in between chatting. Hattie took her time answering, mumbling a few things that sounded like incoherent nonsense to Wardy, though he was almost sure he heard the name Lee or Clodapeng. Maybe she's talking about Lilia Clodenin, a jeweller, he thought. Though, when he tried to ask, she just replied,
Daft over the coach.
Very naughty words indeed.
A merchant was selling some unusual knickknacks. It looked to be from the far north, or possibly a Wall Town, like a Dornham tech though. Whispers in the tavern range from a detector for low-grade minerals to a soft extraction device, usually beer talk. Sorry, Bubs. Hope it wasn't a wasted trip coming up here and seeing little old me.
Wardy laughed in his head at the word little, whilst biting his tongue to curb the laughter aloud. Always a pleasure, gorgeous. Taking her by the hand, he kissed it gently, and bowed and left the room. He could practically hear the blushing as her stomping about in excitement was shaking the building. Bless her cotton socks, he thought. We spent the time between Wardy breaking yet another heart upstairs, discussing what's, where's and when's for after we solved the Etnarvin dilemma. Rua made a fair point that Southern lands hadn't had much in the way of requests lately. Horace's suggestions of heading west was probably our best bet. We all agreed east is probably beyond our ability. If what appeared to make Viv nervous is anything to go off, Lucy was the first to notice Wardy heading back over to us.
Speaking of that, it was a bust. She said the only thing worth noting was some peddling merchant had been selling Dornham tech. Something not worth time, if you ask me.
Wardy says. His tone certainly gives him vibes of done with this madness. We all let it sigh in harmony, just at varied degrees of effort. Rua brimmed with newfound energy and said to us, Looks like we're going to have to follow up on it regardless. The Nova leads, so let's do that. Then we should rest up until night time, then take a visit to Chateau Livon.
What's put a spring in your step then?
Wardy says to Rua, pointing at cups of beer she had drunk without anyone noticing.
Bruh! You drank everyone's cups!
Horace piped, causing Rua to grin even more. Before leaving the tavern, I say to the rest of the group that I think it would be best if we stick together. Strength in numbers and all that military talk. I spotted Kungle and his wife Panna bouncing around as we walked out, beckoning him over after calling his name.
Oh, good. See you like him, yeah. I see you even found the girl in the hat, too.
Kungle bounced forth enthusiastically. His wife Panna quickly closed in on us to say,
Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a splendid time. What brings you to that Northern?
Usual madness, you beautiful impies. What about yourselves? Wardy says.
Oh, well, we're just springing about 10,000 springs a day, the medic I recommend. Have you been over to the manor lately?
We tried bouncing to its rooftops.
It only went and bounced us back. There's more barriers all over the darn place. Did you give it?
I mean, we might mind to have a round or two with the idiot responsible.
We MPs have rights too.
Panna, springing with energy, says,
It's all right, dear. Here.
The puckering smooches are not that bad to hear. The overly slurping kisses are so gross, I thought.
Well, we better get going.
Still have another 1,337 springs to go.
Nice seeing you all.
Kungle abruptly left our talk and bounced over at least 3 houses.
Oh, Kungle, you cheeky bugger. Come here.
Panna says. Her voice slowly fades as she quickly tries to catch up with his bouncing away and out of sight. Trying to keep us focused after that ludicrous display of affection, Rua said, Anyway. That's the first I've heard of a barrier. Not many capable of creating barriers of that calibre. Woody began to look over to the man as he finished speaking.
Maybe it's not a barrier.
Technology is improving fast.
After all,
we should investigate. If it's not odd in origin,
you'll be easier too.
Get rid of it. Woody responded to Horace's piping up with a nod. When we did eventually find the needle in a not-so-small haystack, Woody hurried over to the alleyway nearby and released the seal on the keg. Slowly and creepily, the red liquid came out, forming a red scale above him. Lucy turned away, and Horace looked at the floor out of fear. Gross as always, man, I said. Ruin nodded in agreement. He replied with an, aye, and slowly the scales began fading out of view. We'll watch from here, I said, and we waited in the alley whilst he approached the merchant. How do, lass? I think you're the only merchant I've seen since I got here. What you selling? I'm after fruit, but can't tell if you've got any. Where the hell does he get these strange sounding ways of talking? Lucy has always struggled with our Terran dialect and was often confused, even after all these years.
I'm afraid I've no fruit in my cart. I'm Fidgetta, a reconstructor, not a merchant. It seems most of town has gotten confused by my profession. I modify unwanted tech, weapons, armor, accessories, and I try to make new things with the combinations. This piece of tech was made for finding ore in mines. With my skill I merged it with an art tome. Now I can scan around, mapping out traps. I call it the Owie. Only deal in materials, by the way.
She finished talking, and the scale descended behind her. I judge thy being worthy of blessings, a warm voice in the ear whispered, and the softest red light engulfed Fidgetta.
Strange. All of a sudden, I feel great. Really great, in fact.
You all right? Wardy pretended to show concern. She smiled and replied,
Yes, absolutely. I've not felt this good in a long time. Here, you should take this porter box. You just place the items you don't want into it, and it will transport them to me. I can send it back over when I finish. Just make sure to put your name on the materials, though. Creations have gone to the wrong people on occasion.
Wardy just stared at Fidgetta. Her fast and droning talking hurt him mentally. I know she said things to me in the blur of word vomit, Wardy thought to himself. Well, thanks for that, Fidgetta. I do have some spare mush here from a request I was partaking in, and a bandit a beat at this extender pole on him if you're interested in a trade for an owie. She paused for a minute, thinking, then nodded.
Give me the goods. I'll get working on it.
Deal. Pleasure to have met you. Hope to use you again She'd already wandered off before he even finished the sentence. Strange girl. A reconstructor could prove useful if we get some high-grade materials. Thinking to himself about the possible combinations for new swords. I really need to decide on accents for this bloody stuff.